this city is the division between our government. Our city council is at war with the mayor. Our city council is at war with each other. Every time you open up the newspaper, you see a city official's been arrested. City employees subpoenaed for voter fraud. You have council suing the mayor. You have council members suing each other from time to time. We even have cities suing our city. All right? The problem here is not the police department. The police department does an outstanding job. The problem is our city government is not put together enough to support our police officers. They're not put together in the form that they argue with each other on everything. They can't come together to even vote in something that the whole city needs. We have groundwater. We have sewage issues. We have a wastewater treatment plant debacle. You know, what a mess. We're probably going to get sued for that, have to pay millions. And it's all because our city leaders cannot put aside their differences to communicate with each other. You know, it takes compromise to achieve a goal. When you got two people trying to go to a direction, and each one wants to go in a separate direction, you have to compromise on both sides to reach a place in the middle. And in my opinion, that's what's wrong with this city.
I believe, though, that the crime we have and we see here in our community is symptomatic of the leadership. And I believe everything starts at the top and it goes down. We have a state auditor seizing our records at City Hall, and the FBI and auditor are investigating bid rigging and kickback schemes. We have a city accountant who was busted for manufacturing methamphetamine, had a history of arrest, multiple arrests, served a year house arrest, according to his previous stepbrother, for knocking his previous wife's teeth out. And this guy was responsible for auditing our city for a number of years with Nicholson and Associates. Do we really want someone like this auditing or working for our city? And how do we not know about this? The reason we didn't know about this is because the policy in our city government with the mayor is that the only background checks that are pulled are within the city limits themselves. So any crimes that occur outside of the city limits, we have no clue if these people are criminals. Unless, of course, you're going to testify in a trial, like the Dave Ware versus Dupree trial, and they pull a federal background check on a citizen who's going to be a witness. That's when you get a federal background check, not when you're hiring people. And I think that is disgraceful. We have a public defender in our court system who's here tonight who pled guilty to voting illegally in Hattiesburg's election. How do we have a criminal defending criminals? We have a mayor and city council who so grossly neglected their responsibilities with maintaining our lagoon system that our community has suffered smelling decaying fecal matter for years. Meisenmelter said we have a growing community. We've lost 500 residents since the last census. We have one murder for every 4,800 citizens. These are leading indicators of things to come. These are symptoms of what we can look forward to. If we don't get these things under control, we're going to have more than just more murders and more aggravated assaults and more commercial burglaries. Mr. Kennan said he's very proud of the leadership of this city. I'm not. He said he's concerned about the mood with the city. The mood is a symptom of the leadership. You can't be happy with the leadership if you're not happy with the mood of your community, because the leadership is who sets the mood in this community. We're being sued by Groundworks. Why are we being sued? Well, the lawsuit states that our council president and our financial officer went to New York on a paid trip by Groundworks and made promises to this company that they would raise our sewer rates and to help Groundworks obtain financing to build a system that our rates were going to go up to approximately $30 to $40 a month. And we're being sued for these promises, these oral promises. We were looking at a $600 million 30-year contract. We had a member of our council whose relatives were going to make millions. Mr. Strike's relatives were going to make millions off the deal. Chip Tatum had a lot of land involved. Ms. Strike went around and she told everybody that we were going to have to pay millions of dollars in damages and that we needed to get this thing done to avoid these damages. Judge Dobiak hasn't even ruled on damages. The hearing was today. He's going to rule before Christmas. So I don't know that he would appreciate someone on council trying to predict what his decision is going to be. Furthermore, it is not proper for members of city council to discuss pending litigation. It can have an adverse effect for all of us because we will have to pay for damages. So why is crime going up in Hattiesburg with murders, with aggravated assaults, with commercial burglaries? It boils down to the leadership. The mayor has to make appointments. He won't do it because he knows certain people aren't going to get reappointed. People putting background checks on citizens who are going to be witnesses in trials. People who are directors or running departments in our city who don't live here, who are living in other states and coming back occasionally for meetings. We need full-time leadership. We need our council to work together. We need to reinstate Citizens Forum. We need to have order in that chamber. You can't do it when your chief of police is asleep in the back of the room. You have to have order. And unless we have order, we won't have Citizens Forum, we won't have a voice, and you're going to have a growing number of people who are frustrated because they can't express their concerns.
Let's give a big hand to our police department. I was here 11 years ago, and I deal with the same thing they deal with in clubs every weekend. Now, we can sit here and we can discuss whatever we want to discuss, but if we don't take what's said in this room and leave and go back into these communities with it, then we ain't done nothing. Because the people that need to hear this, what we saying, they are not in here. The leaders of yesterday are here, but then if you take it back out there and you don't do nothing with it, you ain't done nothing. The number one problem, this is the crime problem, is the fact that Hattiesburg, Mississippi have more Section 8 housing than any other county anywhere else. And what goes on in Section 8 housing, there's not a man there, there's not a community. It needs to be a coalition of men set up so somebody can go in here and teach these kids value. I came from the country. I moved here. This is totally different to me. You got young men that don't respect their elders, don't respect their mamas, don't respect their daddies because their daddy not around them to do what needs to be done. So we can sit here and build backwards and forward about politics, but it's not about politics. It's about making sure your people don't fall in that same line with the same preacher. Their jobs will be easier if we do our jobs at home.
And Dave said today that he gave this concession. Johnny Dupree is the mayor. We need to get behind it. It has not happened today. We have accomplished nothing. Not one thing since that election. You know, I disagree with the mayor on things. He is a good man. He does want what's good for Hattiesburg. And the only way it's going to happen is for this group here to sit down in a room and work something out. Fraser Bolton is a good chief of police. And everybody said whatever they want to. But a man can't run his position without permission. He's got to be the boss. That's who he's got to come from. I want every person in here to go tour the police department these people working in. It is the nastiest thing I have ever seen. There is not one thing been done about it. Larry Albert over here has done some preliminary drawings. Been nothing about funding done. Been nothing to get support that these people need to get a facility in one of the finest cities in the state of Mississippi. Nothing. Y'all want to stop crime? Get behind them. Hold accountable. That's who you hold accountable. To help fund what these people need. You want to talk about training? Look, I run a company with 750 people. And we train every day. Spend a fortune. It takes money. Lots of it. You want to talk about losing policemen? Well, they're going to go where they can make more money. I did whatever. I was in a meeting about Bruce that we talked about for 4 hours. What is going on? They're going wherever they can to make a better dollar, and they're stealing people and putting them in positions they're not qualified to be in because they're starving to fill the position. How many of y'all like that they're doing what they're doing every day? Now, in our company, we work in a controlled environment. It's a very dangerous job. We're dealing with high voltage, we're dealing with energized lines all day, every day, but it's a controlled environment. Then, they walk in a room and they don't know somebody can blow their head up. And they're doing it for nothing. So, y'all, I'm just saying that I don't have all the right answers here, but I will tell you this. You got to have a chief of police, and you got to stand behind him, number one, so that he can run his department. That's what it takes. And if he does wrong, and you can prove he did wrong, then he needs to be fired. That's what needs to happen. But you can't hide behind lawyers. To get him put up. So you get fired. We had a sewer system that was designed. It was the biggest debacle and embarrassment I've ever seen in my life. Now, how many of y'all, when you go to build a project for yourself, don't you figure out what you can afford and how you're going to pay for it when you go get it designed? Well, that ain't what happened here. They just decide they're going to build the latest and greatest thing there is. And then that's where they went. Didn't matter who was going to pay for it or what it was going to do to our economy. Anybody want to know what it costs the hospital? Or the medical center? I mean, the Hattiesburg Clinic or the universities? Y'all, we got to change the way we're doing things around here. And that's what it's going to take. Y'all have a responsibility to this community, to this city. And it's going to take y'all doing what it takes to get it done. And it's going to take working with Mary Free, no matter how he got elected, he's the mayor. I want to say this. Hattiesburg is the finest city in this state. It is today, and it will be in the future. We will get past all this. Nobody's leaving Hattiesburg, so all that needs to be thrown out the door. Hattiesburg's not dangerous. Hattiesburg's safe. We got a great police department. They need more funding. They need a new police station. They need support. It's always easy to just pass the buck. On it down. Because we've got some problems. Y'all, everybody's in it. We're all in it together. Y'all want to fix it? That's how we're going to fix it.
There's some Clintons, but I do think we need another change in office obviously, that speech he gave. I'm a little bit on the different side of things here. Before we said the word transparency, I wasn't even going to talk when we said transparency, honestly. I've got 2 records requests into Officer McEvoy there that haven't been answered, and I'd like to get them answered. And I'd like it on paper sent to me, because that's in the law. I like a good relationship with police officers. I think it's fantastic, and I think I would call up and get some help. I think it's beautiful. 24 years ago, I was working loss prevention at a grocery store, and I thought I was in there. I was catching shoplifters. All of my records in the police department were me going to court against them guys. Then we had one of these meetings like this or something, and drugs was coming in Hattiesburg. We had a couple of those clubs, and my first arrest was for no reason at all. because they said, everybody said we need to stop spraying. It took me 24 years to get back to where I thought you guys did. So don't do that this time. I want to trust you. I want to see the stuff that I want to see. Because y'all are me, I'm you. I want to work to be that close. I want to get back to the point where I'm already there. But if you do that to young men, we won't call you. We'll go out and do our things on our own. That's what I don't want. I appreciate the relationship to keep going like this.
How you doing? Just a lot of people have said a lot of things. Just piggyback off a lot of stuff. My thing, police have been doing lights and housing for years. And the sins throughout the community when I was up there. And he was out there when they first started connecting when they started the drug program, the strike team and all that stuff right there. I think that we got to go back to get it. Because even though you could come down into the community and you interact with the youngsters in a respectful way when they hadn't yet done it. I think that we're in an uproar about the city when, I hear people say that we're Jackson. We're not Jackson. 12 murders or 60-some odd murders. When you go back, everything has to do with politics. No matter what we say, no matter how we say, then somebody asked about the gang. The gang situation got better in Hattiesburg. I know because I see several pastors here, Mount Olive, Mount Carmel, other churches, Antioch, and we partner up and then we go to the community and we do certain stuff. We police our own community. I'm going to speak for my church down on Mobile Street. We don't when we first got down there, we never had to call the police. We went out there and we demanded respect. She's out there. She's the only council member that I ever see that's out talking to people. We have to get a certain type of relationship with the people. The gangbanging done got real bad back here.
Yeah.
We sit back, we got the buddy system. They wanted, we had 110, and he said, why can't we get to 120? You know why? Because we got a secretary. Miss Debbie, I think that's her name. And I could be wrong about the number, but I heard Mr. Myself say they start off at $35,000. She made $50,000. Close to that. That's almost for two police. I'm not the smartest. Okay, but at the same time, you got the city council people that don't be there all the time. He got to take bills, I don't know what nobody else do. This little guy got her thing going. So why do you have a secretary making that much money over the people that's protecting us?
Come on.
That's where it come in. Then we got our people back here. They gangbang weekend and we got. They want to shut us up. And that's why we act the fool when we get up there and then he'll put it on his little page. And that's why he get bullets on his, and people busting this and that. You know, this is what I'm trying to say. Slashing tires, all that good stuff. This is what it's going to keep happening. Don't you keep this is what I'm trying to say. In all seriousness, in order to know whether you went for, if Ware would have won, we would have had to stand behind Ware and say, you the mayor, let's rock with it. Okay? The president, Mr. Bradley, he, Ms. Trouton, and Mr. Carroll, sometimes Mr. Lane, I can't leave him out. It's either 3-1. I'm going to say go back, sit down. It's either 3-1, 3-2, 4-1. It's always a number, but it's always. Sometimes. What am I trying to say? Put the politics down. Let's do what's best for the city. see, they try to get us with the groundworks. I don't agree with nothing that man said. But when he said they went to New York and they did all that stuff, they was thinking about payday. No different than somebody, they selling dope out there, they were just doing it the legal way. Yeah. The legal way. Yeah. Okay? Instead of trying to get the people some help. Like I said, we gonna police our community. They ain't gotta come down 621 all day. Like, hey man, because we gonna be out there. We see a knuckle, because I was a knucklehead. Some of us still act like a knucklehead. We gotta get together and we gotta make them be held accountable. No matter who you like, if we work together, because the mayor gonna be the mayor until we gotta run again. Okay? So what I'm saying is, just because we try to know nobody saying nothing to her, we stop the movement. We moved in 30 days before the form, before Mr. Ware, they already had their chief of police, they already had everybody crawling for them ready, and everything got flipped. So what I'm trying to say, they still salty, and we don't need them working for us if they can't work for us. We'll sit there and talk about it on Facebook, okay? Like I said, I don't like it. I don't like talking about it. Pray for me. But at least, like it a little different, but at least he be here. The people that be on this page is talking, and the people on Facebook talking. It's time for the people to stop talking and come up and say, we need you guys to be held accountable so they can do their job. It's easy to do this today. To talk about the police, give us some buzz. When you were trying to get the money from North and all of them, you should have been saying, well, okay, well, maybe I could funnel this that way to them or funnel this that way to them. Man, that was just for your pocket, for her pocket, and it is what it is. We got some crooks right back here. We got some crooks right back here that we want to vote out, that we want to get somebody up here, no matter what color they is, they can work with the people. Now we upset about this and upset about that, and we're scared. Crime's been happening in Hattiesburg. But when they get around, yo, don't step. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. It's been a problem. So don't just get scared now, because it's knocking on your door. I'd rather tell the 12 homicides in the 60 in Jackson. A homicide is a homicide. And he said that. And I believe they're working on that. But we as a community need to police our own community and stop letting clowns come in there doing what they want to do. Okay? It's up to us. It's up to us. And we need to make them be. How can we have a citizen forum down here, but can't have it to the one of them to pay for?
Say that I echo a number of things that's been said. Some things I agree with, some things I disagree with. But I do want to share with you that the things we're facing requires people who can get on the same accord. We may all have differences, but what we all want is quality of life for everybody. Greater quality of life. In order for that to happen, we have to lay down our hatchets and our disagreements. There's some things we just have to figure out how we can work on things we do agree on. We have to find the common ground. And every year I'm tired of seeing our young people in jail. I'm tired of seeing a lot of things. But it takes a community to make changes, real change. And we may not agree, we may not like each other. But there's some things that we can agree on. That's what makes a community a real community. We have to be we're not designed to be a melting pot. But we're a great pot. My mother used to say we're soup. And all of us are in the pot together, but some of us have different flavors. But it takes all of us together to make a community work. Now, unlike some of the people that have expressed something, I need you to know I call on the Hattiesburg Police Department. I call on them because I hate crime. I hate crime. We feed about 250 people every Saturday. And a few times some people have broken into the church. And they took all the food. And we called the Hattiesburg Police Department. They came out in the middle of the night. And they worked with
Now, one last thing, it will never work. This can't be political. We can't call these kind of meetings for political reasons. We cannot afford to be political. It can't be a setup where we had great anticipation that this meeting was going to come and show up the department and show up Chief Bolton. So it's part of the process to get rid of the chief. You know, all of that is a sidebar. We're here to deal with crime. We have to stay focused on crime. It can't be political. We have to lay those kinds of things down. There's a great deal of frustration. And I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to create maybe a tense atmosphere. We're a step away from a Ferguson. We're that close to this community exploding. And when it happens, there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it because we're so divided. What am I saying to you? I'm saying to you, if there's ever a time we have to come together and get together on common ground, that time is now.
Heard a lot of good things. Can I take it down? I'm gonna preach. I mean, so many good things have been said. This is what I want to say. I want to use this opportunity to tell you guys that the club road still ain't been paid. I understand you're talking about doing Broadway Drive, doing Pine Street and some more street. You lied to me. Told me y'all gonna get back to Country Club Road, but I know this ain't about Country Club Road. Listen, I have to ask myself, because I love Hattiesburg. Matter of fact, I think that you ain't going to heaven, you at least need to come to Hattiesburg. But does the statistics say that we are in as bad a shape? Do the numbers? I'm not talking about the media or the politicians. Do the actual numbers say that for a city our size, we are one of the worst out there? And if the numbers don't say that, then we need to start saying it. Young man said, it ain't about money. I say you full of it. I say you guys are understaffed because you're underpaid. Anytime you can cross the county line, go with Phil and make more, or go to Law and make more, or go to the county and make more, or go to Lamar County and make more, and then somebody I ain't got to be real smart to see why people are leaving this police force to go to another police force. Come on, stupid, it's about the money. These guys are young, they have children, they have families, and if you think they're going to stay over here and deal with this drama, where they can cross the county line, or go to the county and make more money, that's just apples and oranges to me. So I say that the numbers, we ought to look at the statistics, the numbers, we ought to talk about paying and asking the council why haven't the police officers receive adequate pay for the job that they do. When we talk about in this community, that the two people, we're concerned about education, we're concerned about safety, and those are the two areas that we want to pay the least in.
That's right, that's right.
The other thing is that the brother mentioned a public defender being, I'm wondering, when does the grand jury stoop to indicting people for misdemeanors? I mean, really, they can find something else to do. And I really wish they would do it. And it's just ludicrous. I believe, almost last but not least, that this shouldn't even have to be this meeting on this night. I think that the Citizens Forum ought to be given back to the citizens. I think that it's the responsibility not of the chief if he wants to sneak doing